Hello. Hello, everybody. It is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the peninsula in Virginia. And we are back with another Create and Relate. I want to make sure I have my volume completely muted on the TV. I don't need that. Wah, 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 wah. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. So I'm going to wait and see if we have anybody coming in. I hope. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Michelle. Okay. You know I have to put it on the screen. You already know why. I can't. I would love to say that about me, but sister love, you know, you know how life works sometimes. It just lifes. So the one thing I can show you, which I got the notes. I got the notes. I do have the notes. Do I feel better? Yes, 1,000%. And thank you, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, I want to kind of piggyback off of something that you talked about as one of my topics today, Michelle, if you don't mind. Um, as a matter of fact, two of them. One is kind of like a testimony, and the other, well, both of them actually. I wanted to talk about, the importance of liking and checking on the subscribers. Um, and I guess I'll start with those first. Uh, in our niche, or in our community, it's supporting each other. Um, and I know I'm not the only one. I don't only stay in the uh, crochet community. I I like true crime. I like police stories. I like paranormal. I enjoy the relaxation of watching like the Blessing Boys who go out and cut grass and um, tailor lawns free of charge for those who can't afford it. I like natural disaster videos and seeing people survive them. I like emergency room videos. Uh, I'm Sagittarius, I'm true Sagittarius. So I'm an adventuresome person. And being that I can't get out and into that adventure world like I want to be, I enjoy watching it on TV, watching people in safaris narrowly escaping wildlife. I can't say I'll listen to the stories of people who've met their demise, but I don't necessarily want to see it. You know, I don't know. Happy stories. Like there was a guy in Africa who noticed that a lion was in despair. He was tangled up in wires. And he carefully went over and detangled this lion. And this lion, as a result, kind of looked out for him in every phase of our life that they went through together. And this was over the course of years. You know, this lion became the king of his pride. And there was one time um, the guy who helped him was about to be robbed, and the lion intervened. And it was like one of those stories, you know, and I like those. I really like those. It had its really exciting, heart racing moments, you know, and I enjoyed that. So all of that being said, when you like videos, what shows up in your recommended videos are the kind of videos that you like. Here lately, I've been looking at 911 calls out of Ohio. So every day in my recommended line, I'm getting at least 5 of those because for 2 days straight, I watch those videos and I like them. So it not only goes on the like, it goes what you actually watch. Did you watch it all the way through? Did you like it? Did you interact with it? Did you? There's another one. Did you skip ads? That's another thing that's very important. When you skip ads, you're kind of pushing those people away. If you really want to support people, watch their ads. Watch at least 30 seconds of ads. They got so here lately, they're showing videos for ads. I despise what they once called infomercials. I don't like the content of infomercials. My reasoning is because if you want to sell me on something, tell me what it is you're trying to sell me on, give me the price, let me make my decision. Don't try to build me up to this. Don't spend 20 minutes of my time telling me, hey, I got 2 buckets on a string here that are far cheaper than the bras that you wear and will give you the same support for $9.99. Tell me that. Don't tell me how you found this item, how you've tested it on these thousands of people. If I'm interested, I'll do the research. I'm not going to sit here for 20 minutes and listen to you tell me about that. So watch at least 30 seconds of the video of the ads before you just click out of them or skip them or go to the next. That way they'll get credit for the ad. The other thing is subscribers. I check my subscribers weekly. I used to do it monthly. And it'll tell you when you go to the dashboard. If you look over to the right, close to the bottom, it'll say subscribers. And click underneath that where it says, click underneath where it says, I got to show you all. Hey, John. I got to show y'all what I laughed at. And you're not weird. You're not weird. That's just you. But underneath where it says subscribers, it'll say all subscribers. Click on that. Once you get to that, you can put them in order according to names, dates that they subscribed, how many subscribers they have, you know, and that way, and it'll also say over to the side, subscribe, unsubscribe. If you see subscribe, then, and you're not subscribed to their channel, you know that the system somehow kicked you out. If you were, you know, like me, for instance, there are 5 people that I will not subscribe back to. But to help me out, they've subscribed to me. 2 of them being doctors, one of them being the family lawyer. I know that I can't subscribe to them because it's a conflict of interest. They can subscribe to me because they can see what's going on with me as far as my health is concerned, as far as my legal situation is concerned. But somehow, if I subscribe back to them, then it creates a conflict of interest. And I don't want to do that. I will take their support, and it's nice knowing that they're there. But check on your subscribers frequently, because if it's somebody that you're not watching all the time, YouTube will say, well, you're not really watching them. But it's up to you to keep up with yours. YouTube doesn't know, you know. Oh, what did I mean? Oh, yes, yes. You are not weird, Michelle and Joan. I do understand. Michelle, Joan, I'll just put it like this. Give you a small portion of it. Furniture moving. We all know how taxing that can be. And I'll say for Joan 100 times that. So you're gonna be okay, Joan. You are. I commend you for as far as you've come. It's been a long, drawn out process, and I do understand. I do understand. So we talked about the likes, we talked about the subscribers. Another thing that's really, really, really important, and it will get you viewing hours. I didn't know it was true, and it will also help your video pop up. I'm noticing that my ASL playlist keeps popping up in my recommends because I've been going back looking at my videos. Mind blown. I did not know that watching my own videos after they've been published would place it in my algorithm. I didn't know. I had no idea. So I put me on that list of people to put the playlist on and let it play while I go to sleep sometimes, or when I'm doing chores around the house. And it has helped. It has helped. It keeps me in that recommended column. I noticed when the kids turn on the TV, my daughter turned on the TV yesterday, and she went to YouTube under her account. I was like the third one in, and I was like, because they always give you the sponsor one first, and then they give you the one that you watch the most, the channel that you watch the most, and then they kind of go in order like that. But it was the sponsor, and then she always looks at these little crazy like TikToks, reels, shorts, and then it was me, and I was like, my baby watches me. So it is important to watch your own videos. Now, also to give credit to Michelle because she opened my eyes in a way I mean, when I first started my YouTube channel, my nephew had an awful lot to do with that. He was very supportive. He was extremely pushy, and he asked me without explaining to me, what is your brand? What? What are you about? I'm about crocheting and talking, which is how I came up with my title, Create and Relate. Not only because I crochet, but I take stitches and see how I can make them better. I create stitches. I create items. Um, um, what I've learned is that I'm a lot like my father. I never knew my father. But my mother would tell me, you're a lot like your father. My mother called my father a rebel, but she says, you march to your own beat. And I didn't understand it until talking to Michelle. I when you give me a pattern and I look at it, like I was recently, the latter part of last year, I was sent a pattern and the yarn. It was just a love gift. And I made the item according to the pattern. But I saw where I could do some things differently. So I made another piece the way I was thinking in my mind. And it was easier going through it the way I had it in my mind than it was following the pattern. And I'm not saying that there was anything wrong with the pattern. The pattern was It was beautifully written. Um, and it felt natural while I was crocheting it. But when I went back and made my tweaks and did it my own way, it felt perfect. And it, like I said, it may just be a personal thing. Another example is the corner to corner. I like the traditional corner to corner if I'm trying to make something like late fallish, early springish. But if I want a blanket to cover up with and I want it quick, like the corner to corner, my method of corner to corner alleviates a lot of those holes. And it's still a corner to corner. And it doesn't completely cover them up. There are a few, but it doesn't look anything, when you pull a corner to corner apart, you have like those gaps. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't have a lot of those. And I do plan to show it. My stitch, the thermal half double crochet. I've seen the quilted. I researched it so that I wouldn't be putting something out there that somebody had already done. And I researched that stitch. I looked up half double crochet every which way you could. I saw the quilted half double crochet, and I saw all kinds of half double crochets, the extended half double crochet, and some more stuff. So I felt comfortable and confident when I put that stitch out there, and I noticed that I do it in a lot of things that I do. It's right here in reach, right here in reach, and it's thick, it's plush, it's stretchable. So you have everything that you have with a double crochet, but that thickness and the fact that you can't, you really have to stretch it and get really close to see through it. But it offers you the same thing that a half double crochet offers, but it gives you the added wind blockage. Okay, now, um, while we're on Michelle, this is Michelle's day. I have to tell you just how much I appreciate Michelle. Um, Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes we need a friend who can be more than a friend. Um, I struggle through holidays. My mother and I started out really, really, really close because it was just me and my mom. As I became a teenager, I rebelled. I'm typical, you know. And when I went to when I graduated high school, I went to North Carolina where I was with my grandmother. My grandmother um, offered me a lot more freedom, which I saw as her having more trust. And it wasn't that my mother didn't trust me, it's that my mother wanted to protect me. My mother was very overprotective, extremely overprotective. But if you know my life and if you know the parts of my life that she was exposed to, and things that I went through, you would understand. I didn't understand, and I felt like she was just setting me up for more of those types of things to happen. Um, but my grandmother made me come back to Virginia to spend time with my mom to mend our relationship. Because every time my mother would come to Carolina for the weekend, I would try my best to run away from home. Because everything that I could do when my mom wasn't there, I could do it when she, came back to Virginia. I love to swim, and right around the corner was Reed Street Community Center, and from Memorial Day to Labor Day, the pool was open. It was 50 cents to swim as long as you wanted to. The pool opened at 12 o'clock, and they closed at 6 o'clock, I believe it was. So that 50 cents, you could just swim. And the only reason they collected money was because the pool stayed full for one. And it was just to make sure they had the pool supplies, but they had other events and things. So they were able to keep the community center open. But when my mom came, and trust me, the weekends that my mom didn't come, I was swimming 7 days a week. So when my mom came, it dropped back to 5 days a week. But I'm glad my grandmother made me come back to Virginia. By this time, I had already had one child. Came back to Virginia, rekindled the relationship with my mom. Um, and we became really, really, really close. I know you saw the thumbnail. I blocked out the other two people who were my two girls because that was my mama. And they do everything they can to claim my mama, but it's okay. It's my mama. But we were like that. And when it came time to Kels, oh, how are you? Thank you so much for coming. But when I had to take care of my mother, she sometimes would actually beg, why don't you just go ahead on and put me in a nursing home? And I would sternly look at her always and say, I promised you when I was 4 years old that the only time you would be in a nursing home is when you were visiting others. You would never be a resident in a nursing home. And you know me and promises. I do everything in my power to keep my promises. I meant that. I meant that. I meant that. And that's how it was. I made sure every job that I had, I quit a job. I was an assistant manager at Dollar General, and I had asked for short term medical leave, and my manager never would put the paperwork in. So I quit. My mother had started taking radiation, and it had started taking a toll on her. She needed someone to drive her over, drive her back home, take care of her when she was home. So I quit. I did. And um, my mother was upset that I had done that, but the way I saw it, the way I see it, my mother took care of me all my life coming up without being asked to. She did that on her own. The least I could do was be there and take care of her. And what I did so that it would take some of the strain off of her was I re-enrolled in college. I took another 2 years of psychology. Little known fact about me. But as my mom got better and I was able to get back into the workforce, I did. And she sat down and had a talk with me that she didn't want me to stop working. So I talked to my girls and I told them how important it was for all of us to pull together. When I got to the hotel, by this time they had made her a gold member at the medical facility that she attended, which meant that she had to go in every week. So I told my boss, if it's going to be a problem, let me know and I will do what I need to do. But one day a week, I'm going to have to be available to take my mom back and forth to the doctor. I had a very understanding boss. Took my mom to the doctor every day that she needed to go. And I mean, it literally got to the point that I had to lift her, to put her in the wheelchair, wheel her in, lift her, and get her back in the car. When my daughter was teacher of the year over here in Hampton, we lived in Portsmouth at the time. I drove her over, same thing. I had to lift her and put her in a wheelchair, wheel her in, bring her back out, lift her and put her back in the car. And it bothered my mom because she did not like the wear and tear that I was putting on my body. I didn't care. And when I go through the struggles and the pains and the things that I'm going through now, the last thing on my mind is how I had to take care of my mother. The first thing that I go back to is how hard I was on my body as a teenager when I was involved in all those sports. But taking care of my mom, see, I see it as I'm here. because of choices that I made in my life. I took care of my mom. So the grace and mercy that I have of being here is God saying, thank you for doing like I told you to do, which is to honor that mother and that father. And I took care of my mom, and I'm proud of that fact. Um, and sometimes when we go through those moments of missing people, we have to just talk about it. I understand that there are some people who don't want to, hear the bad points of our life or the low points of our life, but it's also therapeutic to us. It's therapeutic to us to speak our truths. So if 5 minutes of my time saying to you, that I'm having a moment that I'm missing somebody in my life is hurtful, I understand. I understand. And, do what you feel you must. But don't criticize me because of it, please. Okay. Now, audience, when you are thinking of creating a page, I know some people say your niche. A lot of people don't understand what the niche is. It's not only what you do and what you're good at, it's the type of audience that you want to draw to you. What are you looking for in this audience? Who do you want in this audience? Who do you want to reach out to? Who do you want to always click on your channel? What do you have to offer the people that you want to watch your channel? You always have to be mindful of that. I'm a talker. I'm a talker and I'm a crocheter. And I realize that I talk with my hands, which is one of the reasons I started the ASL channel, because it's a way to it's a way to communicate and teach others at the same time and touch the audience that I want to touch. I love talking to my fiber community because I know that we all share we have likenesses, we have commonalities, and to be able to talk to this group about more than the fiber sometimes, and more than sad things or negative things like the teaching of the ASN. I think that's cool. So I covered a lot on my list. All right, here we go. In 2 days, and I will be posting the rules on my post page, which they used to call the community page. I will be posting those either later on today or tomorrow. I will be having another auction on Saturday from 2 to around 4:30ish. Um, excuse me. I have my Folgers coffee back, y'all. I do not have the chocolate covered strawberries because they sold out, but I do have Snickers. I have Snickers creamer, and I got my Folgers back black silk. So, um, the auction is going to be from 2 to 4:30 p.m. thereabout. It might run a little bit longer, but definitely not past 5 o'clock. Uh, and I just want to have fun because the very next day will be my very first podversary, which meant that I have given a hey sis, which meant that I have given of myself. I know that's right, Kels. Nobody's life is. Nobody's life is all sunshine and unicorns. Nobody. And if a person chooses to talk about it, accept the fact that this may be their form of therapy. I understand that it's my form of therapy. To talk it out, to get it out. And the other night, I have to say it again and again and again. I thank Michelle for being there. She listened. She listened and no. She's not a psychologist, and yes, I understand that, but she was very much a friend that was needed, and she was there, and I appreciate it. I really, 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 really appreciate it. This was somebody who could come at me not only from a friend's perspective, but an analytical perspective as well. She was able to break things down to me that, really, really, I mean, her first approach was to be concerned about my mental health. She wanted to know if I had someone in place who could help me. So that let me know right there she's concerned about me totally, you know, and I appreciate it. And I really, really, really appreciate that. Back to the auction. Like I said, it's gonna be from 2 to 4:30. Um, there are going to be a couple of breaks in there because 2.5, 3 hours is a long time. I've come here for 5 years and talked with my dear friends about everything from crochet to cancer. And now it's well, Kels, it's never frowned on here. You have a safe space here. My email address is kittylane.createandrelate@gmail.com. You can also find it in my description. You ever need to talk, just reach out. I'm here. I'm here. So, um, like I said, there are going to be a couple of breaks because 2.5 to 3 hours is a long time. And there may even be a giveaway. Let's say that out loud. Yes, there may even be a giveaway or two. But I am working on that. So please, please, please help a sister out. Please help me out. Please help me out. The last one that I had, some people would say that it wasn't successful. It was very successful. Of the items that I had, I sold one. And I'm really, really tickled about that. To me, that marked success. The fact that I went through with it made it a success. But then to have actually sold something made it even more of a success. Now, I'm coming up, I'm on the last 4 topics, and I'm just 32 and a half minutes in. So, Advent boxes or Advent bags. The first time I didn't understand what it was, and I looked at the entire video, and the one that I watched, the lady was pricing the value of the Advent bag, and she was downing the hook that she got, and she had a lot of negative things to say about it, and she compared the price to what she got. On the consumer end, well, especially on hers, I don't think she took the whole picture into play. I really don't. I think she wanted the value of what she spent for the box. I'm looking at the possibility of doing Advent bags in February. I chose the shortest month because I wanted to do something that might quite possibly take a month to do. And in supplying everything you need to make these items, if I'm supplying you with that, then I'm saying that you don't have to go out and get these things. What I'm looking to do is going to run me about, okay, we're going to throw false figures out here. Let's say it would run me $50 a bag. This is not including postage and handling, shipping and handling. So if I sell you this box for $40, I'm really just giving it to you. right? I mean, if it took me $50 just to get the supplies, and I mean all the supplies, not just what you need to build this item, but there's packaging, there's the theme itself, there's the pattern or the link to the tutorial, or there's something that it's more than what's in this box, that you're getting. And I don't know, the lady just, she kind of, I thought about Advent boxes when I first started, when, I had just started learning about it when I saw her video, but I didn't know that much about it, which was what made me look at her entire video. But then it turned me away. It really turned me away. And then I started looking at other channels that got boxes, and the fact that they were satisfied and happy, and they like the idea and the concept because there's a theme behind it, and that whatever you create, it's going to go along with that theme. So, like I was thinking, February, you have Black History Month and you have Valentine's Day. And what I was going to do was three different things, because that's also President's Day month. So I was going to do the Black History, which was red, black, green, and yellow. Valentine's Day, which is red, pink, white, and brown. I was thinking chocolate covered strawberries, um, and roses. And you have the president's birthdays, or the president's days, which would be red, white, and blue. So I don't know. I'm still tossing it up in the air. I kind of need help in that way. And it's not as far as the pricing is concerned, because I've already broken down the pricing. I know how much it will cost me to make each one. And I also, with the shipping, I know how much it would be. I am working on one of the items that would be, and when you all saw this the last time, y'all saw blue. And this is a perfect segue into the kind of the last part of this video. The next thing I wanted to talk about was creative minds. You all saw this in blue at first, and you saw where it was buckling at the top, where this was like so much higher than the rest of it. This is where we are. And all of this happened yesterday. I could not do the blue anymore. I didn't like the way it was looking. It was bothering me. And this is what I came up with. And all we know right now is that the name of this piece is going to have something to do with diamonds. And we're even starting to form our diamonds down here. So, yeah. 10, 9, 8. It's 27. 7 is 30. Is that right? I'm confused. 19, 27, 34. Yeah. Once I finish with the brown, that'll be 34 rounds. So I do know that, 34 rows. So I do know that it's going to be at least 40 rows. Oh my God, it's going to be more than 40 rows. And I wanted to make something using only why don't I have anything I need right here by my hands? Oh well, I wanted to use the Just Yarn balls, but the mind of a creative. First of all, if you want to create something, don't give up. When you start it, chances are it's not going to be what you have in your mind when you first start. It's not going to be. Be prepared to frog it. Be prepared to tweak it. or do whatever you do to come up. And then again, you might come up with something that is so totally different and just outstanding in itself. But stick with it. Stick with it. One of the secrets I found in doing this piece is find your happy space. I love Lori. How are you, Bunny? Thank you, thank you, thank you all for showing up. Thank you. I can't see the comments here on my phone. This is the first time I've done a live stream from my phone. I usually do it from my Chromebook. I know that I don't look pixelated on TV, and I wanted a better quality video. And it's sad that my phone is better than my Chromebook, but it seems that it is. I hope you guys are hearing me okay as well. But find your happy space. When I did have the big chair in here, it was my happy space for sleeping. I slept a lot in that chair. My bed right now is my happy space. The more I get it cleaned off, and Michelle, I hope you can see behind me and around me, I can see my wall back here. So, well, I have my TV, Bonnie, for the chat. I just keep forgetting to look over at the TV. That's where you see me looking off to, I think, the left on the TV. I'm actually looking to my right, looking at the TV, but I keep forgetting to look over there. Uh, the sound, although I was late coming in, has been great. Thank you. Oh, that was, yes, yes. It's so far it's working. Like I said, it's the first time me doing it from my phone. Usually it's the Chromebook, and the TV is like just beyond the Chromebook. But I came back to my happy space. But I found that sitting in my bed is my happy space. Um, when I feel like I'm confused, I can spray yarn all over my bed, all around me, and crochet from it. I can't do that in the chair because it bothers me when yarn is on the floor. I mean, I vacuum my floor frequently, sometimes like twice or three times a day, but it just bothers me when yarn itself is on the floor and I don't have too much of an option to put it anywhere else. Um, so my bed is my happy space, and I tend to be a little impatient. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with yourself and your project. Don't be afraid to frog it. Don't be afraid to try different things until it turns out the way you want it to turn out. This is your creative piece. You're not doing this for or with anybody else. Um, what I've also found that helps is I can't look at crochet channels while I'm creating because, excuse me, inevitably they're going to show me something that I want to try, right? That, excuse me. So my focus is not on my piece, and I need my focus on my piece. So then I will look at, the cops and true crime and paranormal stuff, funny stuff. So yes, I am very happy with how this is turning out. Um, when my daughter came in this morning and saw it, when she first saw it, I was taking the blue out. The blue was all up here, and I was taking that out, and I was balling it up, and she was like, "You're giving up." And this was yesterday before she left to go to work. So when she came back home, and she got sent home early. So by the time she came back home, which was like an hour after she left, I had already completed this white portion up here. And she was like, "So you're trying it again?" I said, "Yeah, I have another thought." I kind of added more stitches up here and decided to keep this part closed in and then start opening it out here. And she was like, "You sure you want to do that?" And I was like, yeah. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm doing it. So this is what we have. And I started working on it, and I realized that my top wasn't doing like that, and it feels good to me. It looks good, and to know that right now I'm sticking with all the little balls, and I forgot I can show you. These are what I'm using. The just yarn. So far I am 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So far I am 3.5 balls in. And I'm happy with this. I'm happy with how it's turning out. I have the rest of this one and this whole ball to go. I've got a ball and a half to go with the white. So I'm happy. It's working out. But then from here, I've got to try to write a pattern. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is a tutorial. I'm really comfortable with doing tutorials. But when you get into your creative mind, don't let anything deter you. Please don't let anything deter you. This is your project. This is yours. You know, don't let anything tear you away from that. So I'm giving you permission to be great. Okay, now to the first two things that were on my list. They kind of go together. Um, Earlier this week, I got a piece of Happy Mail, and I wanted to share who it was from. And I'm glad that I'll be able to do that. But you know how you get something and you say, I'm going to put this right here because I don't want to misplace it. And I was kind of waiting until I got my yarn haul because I wanted to present both of them together. I don't know what I did with my Happy Mail, y'all. I, I have no idea. I got a card, a personal handwritten card. The fact that this individual thought enough of me to send me a card. When I saw that it was from her, I was sitting on my scooter, and you know how you get giddy to the point that you have tears. And my daughter was like, who is he? And then the fact that the same day that I got the Happy Mail, these two individuals met. I was on a Zoom call with the person that sent the Happy Mail, and she actually met my daughter. That just blew my mind. I got Happy Mail, y'all, from Michelle. And when I got it, it was a personal handwritten card, and it caused happy tears, and I was really, really, really excited about it. I really was, and I still am. And Michelle, out loud in front of everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I love you too. I love all of y'all. I really do. I really do. Now for my yarn haul, and you all have to know the importance of this. For almost 2 weeks straight now, the times that I have been able to sleep, I have been dreaming about these colors. I dreamed about them in a different way, but when I saw the yarn, I knew I had to have it. I also knew that I'm not supposed to purchase any yarn until I get rid of all this yarn I have, unless it's for an order. I went into Temu, and I got an offer directly from Temu that offered me a free item. So I was like, good, I get to find my yarn. And I went through and I found this yarn, and I was happy. And then it offered me a second item free. So I went and I got this yarn twice, y'all. But it wouldn't allow me to double down. And I had to do a slight variation. Oh, the only specs I have on this first one is that it's 100% acrylic. And the color is black, gray, and red. It doesn't even show the fact that it has white in it, but you can see the white. And it says made in China. It has nothing else. Yeah, it has nothing else. Y'all, I have been dreaming about this. I mean, absolutely dreaming about this. And then to be able to get a second one. And mind you, that's a 5-pack. Free. 100% acrylic, made in China. This one doesn't even have a colorway on it. Very much the same, but slightly different with more gray. This one doesn't have the black in it though. You see them both together. I am really, really, really excited to get to work. And I've been on a poncho and shawl kick lately. I've been on a, I know you all saw this the other night, and my daughter was like, "How much will it hold?" So we had to put stuff in it to see how much it will hold. But it can be a shoulder bag. You can pull the string from the inside, pull it down so that you can carry it as like a pocketbook. You can put the string totally inside and carry it as a clutch. A lot of possibilities, a lot of possibilities with this. And this was the one, this was my happy yarn that I got the last time. But guys, this, the only thing I had to pay was tax. I didn't even have to pay shipping. I paid $2.76. $2.76. Super excited. Can't wait to get started on the next project. But I have to finish. I have to finish this first. Because I'm really proud of this. I had come up with another stitch some years ago. Must have been about close to 9 years ago because my grandbaby wasn't quite a year old yet. And it was called A Mermaid's Tale. I took pictures of it and I've not seen another stitch like it, but I don't remember what I did with the stitch. So I keep playing around with it. It's another one that's pretty closed in, but I remember it was simple because we were on our way to um where is Warwick? Is Warwick in Maine or Massachusetts? We were on our way there, we were driving, and I was in the back seat with the baby. And I came up with that stitch. So by the time we got there, I had like a half a blanket done. And it was real easy to do. Oh, I'm gonna do a tutorial for it, Kels. I am. Lana! Hey! Okay, okay. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. But I'm not going to be here much longer. I really am not. I wanted to share those things with you. I covered everything on my list, so I did good today. I really did good today. Um, I'm excited and working up towards a trip that hopefully I'll be taking close to the end of the year. A lot of you know and remember that my son lives in Texas. He lives in San Antonio, Texas, and he's planning. He and his fiance. He finally popped the question, y'all, and she said yes. But he and his fiance are finally um coming to Virginia. They're driving. So I asked him if I could go back with him. So I'm going to Texas. I don't know how long I'm gonna be there. I have no idea how long I'm gonna be there, but I'm going to Texas. But I will be carrying everything with me, so you all will see me when I'm down in Texas. He told me the only thing I have to worry about is spiders and scorpions. So I'll pretty much be in my room. That won't be different. Because if y'all remember, your girl is extremely arachnophobic. I mean, extremely. Yes. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But I'm excited about that. We're looking at somewhere around September, October. So I already told the kids, y'all gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do with the grandbabies. Because I am going to be in Texas. It's always hot in Texas, Kels. It's always hot. The first time I went to see my son, my daughter and I went in January. Yeah, we went in January and it was hot. And the second time I went in October. Yeah, I went in October because I made a Halloween blanket while I was there. It's funny, every time I go see my son, I make a blanket. I don't care how long or how short I'm there. I make a blanket while I'm there. When my son lived in Kansas, he lived in Junction City, I believe it was. He was stationed at Fort Riley, and I was only there for like 3 days, and I made a blanket. And then when they moved into the apartment, no, the first time I drove, so I was only there overnight, and it was so funny. I fell asleep on the plate of spaghetti. I'll tell you about that another time. But I woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had taken yarn with me, and I made a blanket before traveling back to the airport to come back home the next day. Um, in the apartment, I was there for 3 days. I made a blanket. The first time my daughter and I we flew in January to Texas, and I took him a blanket that I had made, and I also made a corner to corner and a bag to carry it in when I was there. And then the last time I went, I didn't buy the yarn until I got to Texas, and I made a Halloween blanket for a young child who had the same condition that my granddaughter had, which is called Hirschsprung's disease. Something else we'll talk about another time. But yeah, every time I go to Texas, I make blankets. But I love making blankets. But I am going to. I don't know if it's bearable or not, Bonnie. It indoors is bearable. My fear when I go down there is snakes and spiders. But I'm not seeing. I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna leave that right there. But at any rate, I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. I really do. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today and for sharing this time with me. I thank you for your thumbs. I ask that you please share the video. Please share the video. It's very important for it to be shared. I am reaching and trying to meet that goal of becoming monetized. And you all have commented throughout. Please tell everybody that Team Replay works. Team Replay works. And for all of you, you know that whenever you leave me comments, I do reply to all, even if it's just a thumbs up or a heart. I reply to all comments, and I love it when I get them. It gives me something to break away from the monotony of my day and something to read. But I want you guys to always remember to be bold and be brave, be beautiful, and behave. We already know that we all love each other, and I love that about us. So until we see each other again in these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.